Ubisoft went on record saying they would not fix their Star Wars Outlaws games after massive backlash from gamers, and now they are going to pay the price. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Roll this up over at thatparkplace.com, and we have a new clip from this game that shows just how terrible it is. It was shared by ex-user Mangalawyer here. Let's just take a look at this right here, and you can see how bad it really is.
As such, the blaster battles felt like they had meaningful stakes, and the stealth gameplay had a bit of weight to it because I knew that I'd be up against it as...
So obviously it's a clip from IGN. The guy is like praising it, but you can see here, I'm going to mute this and we'll play it again here. You can see just how bad it is. It looks like she's using a stun gun, stuns that character, unloads a bunch of pistol blasts into the Pike Syndicate there. Usually when we see Star Wars using stuns, the characters fall to the ground. Instead, this guy is just having a seizure. She's still, the player's still firing shots there. And then you have these other Pike guys coming over. She's reloading a pistol in the middle. It's absolutely, the person who's playing this is terrible. Still getting shot. And now the person, that character is now unstunned, right? Already unstunned. Instead of just shooting K-Vest point blank, it's like pointing at air now because the character's already moved. It's not following with the character. Is now charging to where the character was. Turns around, is facing the other way now. Look at this, facing the other way. This other one has now come forward, is still aimed at where K-Vest was, is going to run into her, hits her right there to target towards her, does not shoot the pistol. K-Vest is now like behind some piece of garbage on this space station, and then it missed. It literally missed. The NPC literally misses her like 2 feet away. It's absolutely terrible, just atrocious. And as Mangalawyer points out here, it's hilarious that the IGN guy is praising the game while you can actually see the footage showing just how broken and terrible it is. So just absolutely terrible clip here, and they get what's coming to them because they knew about this. They've known about this. Ubisoft has known about this. Developer Massive has known about this. Players have known about this as well, even before this clip was shared by Mangalawyer, because they had a 10 minutes of gameplay footage that they released through IGN, and people hated it. Over 95,000 dislikes, only 12,000 likes there on the video. And you read the comments. Here's some of them. Calm down, guys. This is footage from the Nintendo GameCube version. Another posted, this is another quadruple A game. The explosion effect that was worse than the Uncharted 2 that came out in PS3 is amazing. The power of one, the power of two, the power of don't pre-order. She runs like my 6-year-old uncle in flip-flops trying to catch up to his beer rolling down the sidewalk. I mean, you go to that video, the comments are all just like this. They're just torching this game because it's terrible. It looks awful. And Ubisoft had a chance to respond to this. Investors actually brought this up on the company's recent Q1 sales report call. One investor from Bank of America questioned Ubisoft's narrative throughout the investor call that the game was receiving positive feedback, and even questioned if Ubisoft would delay the game after the negative feedback it was receiving from this IGN video. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot responded saying this: "The game has gone gold, so the date is well confirmed for August 13th. And as you mentioned, we'll be showcasing more content of a very high quality. Multiple hours that will really show the depths of the open world. That is a key element of the promise to enjoy the exploration of the galaxy, and with multiple planets. So that will bode well for the game in terms of high quality delivery." So they're still trying to say that this is a high quality game when we can see that it looks absolutely terrible. The company's chief financial officer, Frederick Duguay, also said this: "We've said also for Star Wars level of quality, the world, and the experience, it's really very high. We are really leveraging our engine, and I think people will love it." Unfortunately, they clearly don't have a good developer when it comes to AI villains and how they actually react to the player. Because that's atrocious. That's absolutely terrible. I mean, that guy was literally standing right next to her, and he missed. ran right up to her, didn't even shoot his pistol. The other guy's turning around, doing 180s. What is this? The Book of Boba Fett? Wow. But if you look at some of these early reactions too from YouTubers, we got this guy, YouTuber ACC. He's got over 1 million subs. He says in almost 4 hours with the game, shows that a couple of the promises the developers have stated are absolutely true. Size of the explorable world, how long you can experience it, those seem pretty on point. 4 hours was 2 locations for me with barely anything explored across both of them. However, he then pointed out a number of negatives. Nevertheless, would also indicate some noticeable problems, including less than stellar effects, but also what appears to be a desire to carve off the edge of characters like a sculptor pissy at its creation the next morning. And this was in a couple of the cutscenes. It's crazy to think that the murders Blue Milk Swill and Hobo Uncle that Luke turned into in the 3 later movies might be downright shocking now compared to what it feels more when it comes to these movies and these games, and almost TV-like de-edging in Outlaws. So he's even pointing out that the characterization of a lot of the characters in Star Wars is terrible. The characterization of these characters is terrible in this game, is what he's saying. And then you have YouTuber Skill Up here. He decried the game's combat system. He says, I do think this is mechanically very simple and at times a little too simple, a little too narrow in terms of the agency it affords you. It can feel very on rails in a way that is frustrating. The stealth model is pretty played out, and the combat is little to write home about. The outer space ship combat stuff is not good, I think. It feels more like a mini game than an actual core component of the experience. He did add a number of positives here. He says, I genuinely had a good time playing for 4 hours because I really did feel kind of spirited away as I explored new planets, met new characters, uncovered hidden side quests, made decisions about who to side with or betray. As a Star Wars adventure, I was into this to the point where it helped me look past those obvious gameplay shortcomings, but it's not going to be the same for everyone, and I do predict a mixed reception to this. To that point, he said this: if you're a Star Wars fan and you're looking for some good old-fashioned Star Wars and you want to be immersed in that galaxy far, far away, like almost no other game before has been able to do, then I think you will get a kick out of this. But if you're looking for something deeply playable, I expect this will not be it. So basically, it just is an explorer sim. And why wouldn't you just play SWTOR? Star Wars The Old Republic probably has lots more planets, is constantly updating. I mean, why wouldn't you just play that if you just want to explore the Star Wars galaxy rather than this game here, which should be focused on gameplay, one would think. Clearly, the gameplay is terrible. We're seeing this from a number of people here. And then obviously we just see it ourselves. We see it ourselves in this clip from Mangalore, just how terrible it is. But they get what's coming to them. They had a chance to delay this game. They had a chance to make it better. They made the choices that they made. They decided to make Kay Vess the protagonist. They decided to make her ugly, and they decided not to fix these clearly awful gameplay issues that they have. And so I think what's going to happen is they are going to have some pretty bad sales numbers for this game. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.